On December 6th, Kynseed finally reached 1.0 after several years of early access. Since then, I've logged a number of hours that I frankly do not care to discuss. And as a result of that, I've learned many things that might be valuable to new players. The game has a great many mechanics at play, and there are several things I wish I would have known when I started. So, here are 24 probably helpful tips for new and even experienced players. Temper your expectations and be patient. Kynseed expects that your first character will not see the end of the game, and that one of your heirs will see your legacy through instead. Everything in this game takes time, so if you're going to speedrun the game, you're probably going to have a bad time. However, if you approach this as a more cozy game, you're going to feel a lot less resistance. Read all the books and notes that are lying around. Many of them are lore or otherwise impractical, but if you aren't interested in lore, then at least read them to learn about the game and how to find some items. Book pops up when you buy a shop. It's giving you information on how to run it. Find a book about a mythical creature, follow the hints, and you might just find it. Use all of your tools as soon as you can in order to start getting experience from them. While you can pick dandelions or crops by hand, if you use your sickle, it'll level up. Similarly, you can use the slingshot to knock down apples and berries. Leveling up will not only give you a chance for double items, but also higher quality items, although that's not a guarantee for every item. Give gifts all the time to everyone. As you give gifts and level up your relationship with people around Quill, they'll start sending you tips, recipes, and items in the mail. Additionally, when giving gifts they like, or at least don't hate, they'll give you tips about other items, other people, or the world. Even if you've already maxed out the relationship with someone, they'll still give you tips. Speaking of gifts, if you aren't concerned about getting helpful information by giving the gift in person, you can just go up to that person's mailbox and give them the gift there. You can also do this if you want to complete tasks where they're asking for an item. Also, giving gifts with more quality stars results in greater gain of relationship points. If you can get a lot of high quality fruit to give away, this will give a running start at the beginning of the game. Befriend the Scrumpies. Whenever you reach a certain relationship level, you can start taking crops, fruits, and other berries from around people's homes. The Scrumpies, who are on the farm south of yours, have 16 fruit trees, some berry bushes, and some carrots. If you're hurting for apples to teleport with, or just want to have a nice secondary supply of fruits to give as gifts, then having access to the Scrumpy farm will prove to be very useful. If you're wondering who to raise your relationship with first, choosing people with a treasure chest in their home is a good start. Once you get 3 relationship hearts and complete their character quest, they'll start giving you numbers for the code to the chest when you give them gifts, although it's not guaranteed you'll get a number each time. Some will just flat out give you the entire code. As a bonus tip, if you only have 2 of the numbers, you can just start guessing by going up 1 number at a time until you get it. Just be aware that it'll change the number each time, so it may take several tries. Don't forget the offering bowl by your door. Eventually, you'll be able to have other people in your home do it for you, but until then, you need to do it on your own. If you forget, you may end up with various curses such as rotten apples or crops that won't grow. Once you're an adult, take a look at the note on the tree by the lake to the left of your house. It just provides some recommendations on what to do once the world is finally opened up to you. Once you can select boons from the goddess statues, a good one to start with is the one that generates seeds when cutting down grass. Even if you aren't broke, it can still be slow going to find all the seeds you need at the stores or on goods days in the market, so this boon will give you a wide variety of seeds for free. Unless you have a teleportation item from Mr. Fairweather, make sure you have enough apples on hand when winter comes around. You don't want to have to walk around all winter. You might be able to find them at goods markets in each town during the winter at the very least if you ran out. If you're needing money at the beginning, making swords at the blacksmith has a much higher return on investment than most other smithable items, if not the highest. You'll just need to buy the mold from a blacksmith. Each town has different molds, and then either buy ore or mine it from mines. Zinc from Mellowfields or copper from Poppy Hill will net more money than tin. Cook a lot of different food at least once. When you cook a new food, it'll reveal the attribute or stat changes you or NPCs will get from eating it. Once you've done this, it's much easier to decide what foods to make and eat for yourself or to give to people. Weed skimmers, which are fish you can easily catch at home, are good fish to have on hand. If you're like me and you don't like walking around slowly in games like this, eating a weed skimmer will give you a boost to your speed so you walk around faster. With a recent update, you can also feed it to truffles or any other animal that you can ride on, so they'll move faster as well. Get a dog and a shovel. When you walk around with your dog, they'll often bark and then wander off to a spot, mark it, then wait for you. If you dig on that marked spot, you'll get one of a large number of items, some of which are required for certain skills. It's also just nice to have a cute dog, and you get free stuff. I won't spoil it, but after a certain part of the story, you will start gaining reputation. In order to get passive reputation, the easiest thing to do is to get a store. I always start out with the blacksmith because I like the minigame, but my opinion is that the apothecary is the easiest because you just need to leave them with a bunch of materials and your employees will take it from there. While that same philosophy applies to the blacksmith, I find it's easier to lose money if you aren't helping them out a little bit before they level up. Also, many areas are locked behind reputation levels, so I will refer you back to my first point about being patient. Everything in due time. Speaking of shops, give your employee food related to their job, which is explained in the book when you buy the shop. This will help them do their jobs better and faster, which means more money and reputation for you. Also, if you eat before working, it can help certain tasks. For example, higher strength means more hits on the metal when you're smithing. Before you go to the woods, eat something that boosts one of your combat stats. You have the option to take food with you when you go there, but the food won't be eaten until about halfway through the forest. Eating before you go in, though, will give you the stat bonus for the first half of the forest. If you need or want higher quality items from the combat forest, you're gonna have to go deeper. It'll be harder, and they'll do more damage to you, but it's the only way to get better items. Try to get the skill from the Combat Skill Master Trainer that allows you to do a 3-hit combo in combat. When you do a combo with the sword, each successive hit does slightly more damage than the last, which can often be the difference between life and death. Also, get the bow and arrow from Moon, who is north of Poppy Hill. Hitting an enemy with an arrow will stun them. When it's a 1v4 battle, it can give you some breathing room, which, again, can be the difference between life and death. In order to get the bow and arrow, you'll need to have the slingshot from the general store in Vale in order to pass Moon's test. Check out one of the forest dungeons during a blood moon. You'll be able to tell it's a blood moon when it's night and there's a red glow, and it may also be very windy. I'll leave it to you to figure out what the difference is. Finally, Stay away from tickling Tom Hook fingers. I will not elaborate. So that's 24 tips to help you start out with Kynseed. That said, there are certainly dozens of more hints out there, so feel free to sound off in the comments with any additional tips, corrections to anything I may have said that isn't quite right, or changed in a patch, and then get out there and spend dozens of hours playing Kynseed.